We can go ahead and get started. Hey, y'all. Welcome to the Zoom call titled Post-Secondary Options, but it's actually going to be called Plot Twist. You have options, and I'm going to get into that a little later, but I'm glad y'all have joined us today. And so before we dive into exploring our post-secondary options, Tiny Toons is actually here to talk about Wyman and our partnerships, because I know you all have heard of our MSU scholarship and all these different things. So he's going to break that down for us so that y'all can know. So Tiny Toons, take it away.
Thanks, Edges. I hope everyone is doing extremely well, and I hope you guys have been enjoying the virtual programming that the team has been setting forth. All of the content that they've been putting forth is essential to your success throughout the entire year, right? So kudos to you for taking advantage of everything and, grasping everything. So anybody who's been on more than one, like Edges just did, just give yourself a round of applause just because you're investing in yourself. So I wanted to take some time today to cover 6 partnerships that we have. The first of which is with Missouri State University. So we've had this partnership with Missouri State for over 12 years, and our young people are doing exceptionally well there, so much so that we have been afforded the opportunity to have 2 comprehensive scholarships with Missouri State University. And before I go any further, I did put a file into the chat. So if you want to follow with me, just click open the PDF. It's a partner scholarship resource, and it outlines a little bit more in detail all the scholarships, the deadlines, and so forth. But wanted to make sure that I just gave a brief overview. She said, a brief overview of the partnerships that we have. So with Missouri State University, we have 2 comprehensive scholarships. We have an application process that typically opens up around October. You do need to make sure that you're staying on it. It's through St. Louis graduates. So you'll hear a lot more of that regarding the deadlines between your coaches, specifically probably Edges will be more so in touch with everyone around just deadlines and staying on it. So we award 2 of those each year. There are no promises, so you want to make sure that you put your best foot forward. Again, this scholarship is literally only for Wyman students. So you are competing amongst yourself. Put your best foot forward. Answer the essay questions completely, because if you don't answer the question completely, our review committee, who are not our staff, so we don't get an opportunity to choose, right? So you want to make sure that you're putting your best foot forward. So you'll have the process from October to about January to actually submit your application, your scholarship application. One of the prerequisites of all of these applications is that you have to have admittance into that institution, right? So that goes for Missouri State, that goes for Southeast Missouri State, and UMSL and Rankin. So those institutions, you need to have acceptance before you can get a scholarship. So I want to say that first and foremost, right? After the process of you completing your application, there will be a review period. We'll probably move forward between 4 to 6 applicants where the board will review, and then from that point forward, they will choose 2 applicants to receive the scholarship. So if you look at the requirements, the eligibility, yeah, I know what I'm trying to say. I cannot get my words together today. The eligibility requirements, you'll notice that you need to achieve a 2.75 GPA, and we want to make sure that you have been active, right? So how foolish would any one of us look applying to a scholarship and we haven't been active, right? So the good thing about y'all being on the call, it shows us that y'all are actively participating in all of our programs. So y'all ain't got to worry about that, right? So you want to make sure, again, you put your best foot forward. You have the essay writing with Teresa, which has been exceptional. You have all of the things that you need to be able to land a scholarship. So put your best foot forward. Any questions about MSU? Cool. And for our seniors, you should have already gotten an email from your coach or Edges just around applications for MSU. All institutions do not do on-site. Our partnerships love us because of y'all. Y'all go and y'all represent, right? We need y'all to continue to do that because institutions want to give y'all money, they asking for our students, right? We want the money for y'all because money means less debt or no debt for college or post-secondary. So we want to maintain that for y'all. So first and foremost, so if you do have interest in Missouri State University, submit your application right now today. So that way we can get you in the pipeline and expedite to be eligible not just for our scholarship, but more scholarships at the institution. The second scholarship I wanted to talk through is the Southeast Missouri State Scholarship. It's not as comprehensive as Missouri State, and I probably should have shared also with Missouri State University. With the way in which that scholarship works, the only thing that you will probably end up paying for is books. Whereas Southeast Missouri State is a comprehensive scholarship where Wyman puts in a certain amount of dollars, and then Southeast Missouri State will stack additional scholarships to lessen your debt load. The process is pretty simple. The application cycle will open up in the spring, and then can y'all hear me? I feel like I just went out. Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
You
Okay,
good?
cool. Okay, cool. Um, the application cycle will open up. The interview process will be exactly the same in terms of Southeast Missouri State's team will be reviewing and interviewing applicants, and we'll be choosing 2 applicants within that cycle. So similarly to Missouri State, put your best foot forward. If you are an active, member within Wyman, you ain't got no worries because they will ask us what your participation is going to look like. So I want to definitely make sure that we're upfront about that. But we advocate for all students because we want everybody to get money. So don't if you see like the minimum requirements of any of the scholarships, don't not apply. Still apply because you don't know how many applications we're going to get, and you don't know what exceptions each of the institutions might make. So don't worry about the minimum requirements right now. Just be sure to submit your application. The Rankin Scholarship is another scholarship that we have. We have a board member who is on both Wyman's board as well as Rankin's board, and as a result, they get an opportunity to sponsor 1 student each year. And what that means is through the board scholarship, you'll have 55% of your tuition waived, which is exceptional, and you'll qualify for an additional $500. So that significantly changes the landscape of being able to attend Rankin Technical College. That scholarship opens up around the springtime, and the board member will be doing the interviewing for that. We also have a Greer Scholarship. The Greer Foundation provides roughly about $2,500 to $3,000 to each applicant. Not each applicant, each student that they select for that particular scholarship, and we have up to 10 of those. In order for you to qualify for the Greer Scholarship, you need to be within a STEM major, right? So you're thinking like your engineering, your nursing, mathematics, IT, those sorts of fields, right? And if you have any questions about what qualifies, just let one of your coaches know, like, hey, here's what I'm thinking about majoring in. Do I qualify for Greer, right? And even if you don't necessarily think you might qualify or you think it might be borderline, still apply, right? Because you never know what the funder might say. They might say, like, you know what? I can see how that applies to STEM. We're going to fund this applicant. So you want to make sure that, again, you're putting your best foot forward. And I keep saying that because we can't do it for you. We can continue to do stuff. We can be on your neck 24/7. But at the end of the day, y'all the ones that's going to be applying to stuff, right? So we're here to filter your questions, to point you in the right direction, to give you guidance, to review essays, to write recommendations, all of that. But at the end of the day, y'all have to actually do the applications. So while you have the time now, I really strongly encourage everybody regarding their post-secondary education to start applying. Like even if it's 20, 25 minutes within your day, you can knock out a couple applications. So I talked about Greer. The other scholarship that we have is the Centennial Collaboration Scholarship, and that's with the Scholarship Foundation. So the good thing about everyone who's chimed in and participated with the Scholarship Foundation's presentations, you will qualify for the Centennial Scholarship. And what that means is The Scholarship Foundation typically funds three partner organizations. We just happen to be one of them, which is outstanding. Again, that's kudos to our young people for representing themselves well. But if you are applying to an institution, typically within Missouri, I believe it's only within Missouri, that if your gap from tuition or just your cost of attendance is $12,000 or less, they will close that gap with grant money, which means that you won't have any debt, right? So you want to make sure that you do apply for that as a member of the Wyman Center. Like, all of y'all are technically eligible. You don't want to not apply, right? The same thing that goes for their interest-free student loans. You never know if you might need a loan, right? So if you do need a loan, you probably want one that's interest-free. You don't want where the government is going to, accrue interest over time. The best loan is one that you could just take out. If I'm going to take out $2,000, I only want to pay back $2,000. I don't want to pay the five. I don't want to pay $5,000 if I took out two, right? So you want to make sure that you're choosing wisely. And then the last partnership we have is with the University of Missouri St. Louis, so UMSL. That's one of our newer partnerships. Can y'all hear that in the background? I'm sorry. It's a $1,000 partnership scholarship, and you get that automatically from being a student with the Wyman Center. I'm so sorry for this car like going off. It's a $1,000 partnership. In order for you to maintain that, it is renewable. In order for you to maintain it, you have to have 24 credits each year and have a 2.5 GPA. The last thing I do want to say regarding all of these scholarships, it's important and vital that you maintain contact with your coach, not just throughout this year, but beyond, right? So we know that in order for partnerships to continue to go in the way in which we need it to go, we have to have effective communication. So don't leave us on red. Don't do none of that stuff. We're trying to help you, right? So it doesn't matter if something's on fire or whatever, or it doesn't matter to us. What matters to us is how we can continue to assist you and help you to process through all of which you're going through. So don't wait until the last minute. Let us know ahead of time what's going on, how we can assist, so that way we're not shortchanging your post-secondary journey to and through. So you'll see the packet. It has a lot more detail. I know I had a limited amount of time because I just we'll need to go through all of the post-secondary options. So does anyone have any questions for me at this moment? Cool. That must have did good then. Hopefully. So I'll pass it back to Edges to continue to. Oh, perfect. I do have a question. When do the applications open? So the Missouri State, Southeast Missouri State, the majority of the, can you send the packet? Oh, the packet is in the file.
I'll email the packet out to y'all. I'll email it out after the call.
Thank you. Cool. I wanted to make sure y'all had it for the call, but yes. We'll make sure to send that out. But the application cycles will open early fall, so like around October, for you to be able to apply to our partnership scholarships. The majority of things will be on St. Louis Graduates. So you should have already created an account on St. Louis Graduates. If you have not, any one of us can help and walk through the setup with you. I'm sorry, there's a lot of noise in my background. I apologize, but I want to be available for y'all. So, does that answer your question, Cameron?
I'm assuming it did.
I'm gonna go with yes.
You said yes.
Perfect. Cool. All right. Any other questions before we transition to Edges?
Yes. It's time to shine. So once again, thank you, Tiny Toons, for sharing the information about all of our partnerships that we have. We have options, and that's what this call is all about, to show you all of the options you have. So if you decide to go the college route, you have an option to not have to be in debt, because that's not fun. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you all, and I'll ask the team for when I get into engaging moments, if y'all can manage the chat and the whole thing's about the input, because I'm gonna go full screen. Okay, we got to get full screen. All right. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you all. Okay, so welcome to the Zoom call. Once again, today we're going to talk about options. And plot twist, fam, you actually have options after high school. So this whole conversation we're going to have today is based around exploring all of your post-secondary options. If you didn't know, I'm Edges, your host. I'm the post-secondary access manager here at Wyman, the one and only. I'm super passionate about what I'm about to talk about, so I'm excited to dive in. So the first thing we have to do when we are about to explore all of our post-secondary options is do this one thing right here. Breathe, okay? We have to breathe. Talking about all of your options after high school can get overwhelming because there are so many. I know a lot of times historically the goal was go to college and get a good job. And that sounds great, but the whole college application process is pretty tedious. And then sometimes college may not be your thing. So there's a lot of things that go along with figuring out what you want to do after high school. And so we're going to breathe and just know that Edges got you, the Wyman people have you, and we're going to work through this together. So a part of being able to breathe and know that it's going to be okay is you have to trust in a couple of things. The first thing you want to trust in is that you actually have skills, talents, a strength, and a perspective that only you have that make you valuable, that allow you to have purpose on this earth. Like, you're here for a reason. You aren't just here because your mom and daddy did a little dance and then you were here. No, you have things to give to the earth. You have things to give to the world, and you have those things already in you. That's why a couple of weeks ago we focused on your strengths, because we wanted you all to focus on the things you're naturally good at, the things you naturally have, versus the things you don't have, or the things you have to get. You already have skills that other people may not have. You have talent you already have. You know you have strengths, and you have a perspective on a lot of things that other people don't have, and so that's valuable. So when you start thinking about your post-secondary options, focus on those things which you're naturally good at, which you already have, because once again, that'll leave you less stressed. We want you to have options because, as you can see, life is up in the air, and you want to have different things you know you're good at, because it'll help you fall back on many options, and you won't just get caught up and stressed out if one thing doesn't go through. If one thing falls through, well, I know I'm good at this other thing. For example, when I was in high school, didn't plan on going to college because why? It didn't sound fun. I wanted to work part-time at Burger King, chill out, do my thing. But then when my friends started going to college, I said, oh, I guess I can't be a bum. So I did art in high school. I loved it. I said, well, let me major in that in college. Long story short, changed my major, wound up doing journalism because I was like, art's not the thing right now, but I know I'm also good at writing. So I was able to switch my major because I knew I had a couple talents and skills that I could do, and I was able to switch my options, okay? So just know you have your own set of things already, pre-packaged, okay? The next thing you want to do is trust your actual journey. Your unique life experience will be different from other people. Everybody else's journey in life is different, and you somehow get connected to the people at the right time. So my journey here to Wyman is completely different to Royal's journey to Wyman, completely different from Tiny Toon's journey to Wyman, but we all have different life experiences, and when we come together, it makes the teamwork that we're doing, it makes the job that we're doing that much easier. So the first thing you have to know, well, the second thing you have to know is that your life journey will look different from other people, and that's perfect. That gives you a different perspective that you bring to whatever room you walk into. That is perfect. Your walk in life, your journey in life is going to look different from other people, but that's how it's supposed to be. That makes life more interesting, and that sets you apart from other people. And we always have to be set apart, okay? We're different, and that's the good thing. And then finally, you can trust us. Your Wyman community, like Brian said, call us, love us. We just want to love you and help you. We know a little something, something, okay? We know how to do certain things. We've been through life a little bit, so we can really help you out, okay? And then, of course, you have your family and your own community and people, but you just know that, like, you have these things. And so if we're going to breathe and keep our edges in place, because you know, my name is Edges, so I'm passionate about edges, okay? When we stress and we're not breathing, we lose oxygen and we lose edges. And if we don't have edges, what is this all about? I don't know. But if I don't have edges, what have I been doing all my life? Okay, so we have to remain stress-free and just remember these three things so that we can really explore these options, okay? So once we've done that, the next thing we do is we actually explore. Now, this is the fun part, okay? The same energy Sis is giving in this gift, We're about to get up into it. We're looking at all the options, okay? So the first thing you do when you explore is you want to explore all of your options. And so this is where I want some of your input. So you all can kind of come off mute or dive into the chat because we're going to start exploring these options. So the first way you explore your options is you think about your interests. So what interests you? Like just randomly, it doesn't have to be super deep, or it can be deep in everyday life. So when you're walking down the street and you're seeing something and you wonder, I wonder how that's made. When you're scrolling on IG or the TikTok, that's what I call it. What actually interests you? You know, when I'm scrolling on Instagram, I just wonder, how did they make this app? Who thought of this? Who thought of this? So what thoughts do you have just in everyday life, and what makes you wonder? So that's the first question I want to ask. And y'all can chime in, you can come off mute, or you can add it in the comments. So what interests you?
I don't mind sharing.
Okay.
This is snaps for anyone. Oh, I was about to say the same thing. Kid artist said to everyone that anything music related, honestly, and I would agree with you because I would say something that interests me is rhythm. Whether that's in music or poetry or writing, I just love how rhythmic things are, and I love listening to melodies and all of that thing. So that's what someone said in the chat too. So I agree with you.
Wonderful. What else? What else interests you all? Okay, well, we'll take that.
Someone said psychology in the chat.
Yes.
Cameron Harris said writing.
Yes.
Daniel said music.
Perfect. Wonderful.
I would say community outreach.
Yes, community outreach. Okay, what else we got? That's a great place to start. So yes, all these, and it can always be multiple things. So it doesn't have to be just one thing that interests you, because I know a lot of times back in the day, the whole thing was you got to get a good job, but we off that. We want multiple streams of income. We have multiple things we're good at. And once again, we talk about options, that means more than one. So it doesn't have to be just one thing you're interested in. It could be multiple things, and just get comfortable with the fact that your interests will grow, because in life you grow. So just get comfortable with the fact that you may get more interest, and that's good. We want options. We like options, okay? So the next
thing Farron, I just wanted to chime back in the chat. Farron also says she enjoys music, which is great because we learned that you want to compose. So yes.
Yes.
And Brian in the chat said, I love this.
Wonderful. So this is great. This is really good. So then the second thing we're doing, we're exploring options, is we want to try new things. So is there some sort of class you want to take, a new skill you want to learn, a career you're wondering about? So I know someone said psychology. That's wonderful. Have you looked into that? I know for me, I was interested the other day. I read something about sign language, and somebody told me about an app for sign language. So I downloaded that on my phone because why not? Sign language is pretty gangster. I want to learn how to sign. I think that's pretty cool, and we don't learn that. So is there some sort of class you want to take, a new skill you want to acquire? Let's talk about it.
So I've actually downloaded a sign language app too, so that's exciting. Okay, we here. I'm gonna have to try something out on you, so that works.
Okay.
Yes, feel free to try something out on me. My mother was born deaf, so sign language was my first language before I actually began to speak. I didn't speak vocally until I was 4. So sign language was my thing. It still is the way that I communicate to my mom. So.
Oh, this is a done deal. Perfect. What else we got, y'all? What other skills are you interested in trying?
Malachi said music engineering. I want to major in it.
Yes.
Farron said music theory.
Perfect.
Cameron Harris said in the chat, I always wondered about screenwriter or people who write TV shows and movies. That's really cool.
Yes, it really is. This is great. Okay, so I love that we have some things we're thinking about. This is perfect. This brings us to our third thing, is where we research. And I know research does not sound exciting because it sounds super boring, but it's 2020 and research actually is really fun. And we're going to dive into it. So the first way we research is actually using Google. Listen, y'all, Google is your friend. I believe Google University is a thing. You can Google almost anything, good and bad, but we want to Google good things. And you can literally use Google to learn about all these things we talked about. So for sign language, you can Google apps for sign language, how to, how to learn about how to make an app, what is musical engineering. Google is your friend. You can also do these things called informational interviews, where if you know there's an organization that does help with screenwriting or talk about screenwriting for shows, you can call them and have an informational interview, or you can just call them and ask about, hey, what do you do? What are kinds of ins and outs of this job? And then there's a thing called job shadowing, or say if you want to be a firefighter, you get in contact with the fire station and you can literally maybe spend a day with the firefighter, not like on the fire part, but everything else most likely, because we don't want you to get crispy. But you can probably shadow them on the job and literally see what a day in that life is. And then the final way, which I don't know if y'all use this, but YouTube. YouTube is life. I love going down a YouTube rabbit hole. It's a great place to be. But when we think about exploring our options for after high school, YouTube is a great way to do that. And I'm going to show you how. So when we explore through YouTube, it's really good because you can get firsthand experiences on different careers. You can see the pros and cons of an actual career and get different perspectives. So I'll give you an example. After I graduated from college, the first time, I also got a master's, girl, doing the most. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do next. I knew I wanted to travel, and I had a former student who was a flight attendant. I was like, that's what you do. You can travel, you get to make money, you get to meet new people. So I was like, I wonder what that's like. So I went to YouTube and I literally typed in the life of a flight attendant. And I watched a bunch of videos on what it's like to become a flight attendant. I watched a bunch of women to see what it was like. I used Google to Google like, what are the requirements to become a flight attendant? What are the tests like? What's a day life? What's a day like for a flight attendant? What all you needed to do? And so ultimately, because I did all this research, I realized that wasn't for me. But instead of taking the test and doing all the things and going the long way, I realized I didn't want to do it. Because I did research and I looked at YouTube and watched the videos and went down a rabbit hole, I figured out, okay, this is cool, but I don't think I want to do this. And that's what exploring your options is. You're literally taking something that you're interested in, seeing if it's for you, and you either add it to the list of things you're interested in, or you take it off the list. That's all it really is. And like I said, YouTube is owned by Google, so you can literally type in almost anything in YouTube and figure out what you want. So to help you all, I even typed in, the life of an engineer. And they get more specific, like down here you see a life of a biomedical engineer, a mechanical engineer. You can get more specific depending on what you're actually interested in. So y'all use YouTube to figure out what it is you want to do, or just to kind of narrow down the list and really see, is this something I can see myself doing? Another one I Googled is the life of a law student. I know we have some people who may be interested in law. And here are some videos you can literally look at to see, is this something I could actually do? Is something I'd be interested in? And you can just go down the YouTube rabbit hole, I usually go down it with like food cooking channels, but for you all, you can go down it figuring out, what do I actually want to do, and to see if you can see yourself doing it. So when we're exploring, these are the things we can do to help you really explore your options before we get into the more hardware you have to actually apply for things. These are the things I want you to remember: your interests, trying new things, and then researching. Google and YouTube are your friends, okay? And so once we do those things, we're going to explore what your post-secondary journey can actually look like. And this is where we get into our options. I'm gonna take a sip of water because we're about to dive into it. Okay, so the first most popular option, of course, is a four-year college or university. It's usually take 4 or more years to complete. There's a wide range of majors. You can live on campus or off campus. There's Greek life. You can study abroad. There are all types of four-year colleges and universities. There's private, public, small, big. So that's the most popular option, of course, and that's for more people who want to go into certain majors like engineering, biology. You want to be a doctor. Certain things require that you go to a four-year college university. But remember, it's an option. It's not the only option. So I know a lot of times our teachers and people have told us, you got to go to college. That's an option if the career you want requires you to go to college, okay? Because I would hate for you to go to college for 4 years and wind up majoring in something you don't do, and you don't even want to do it, and you didn't need to go to college, and you got into debt, and it was a waste of your time. I don't like wasting my time. I don't want y'all to waste your time. So that's why we want you to look at your options now, so that you can really make sure as much as possible that the option you take after high school is the one that will get you the career that you want, okay? Boom. The second option is a 2-year college. So these are schools that usually take 2 or more years to complete. You typically get an associate's degree. It's more flexible if you choose to work, if you have to make money and pay those bills. And you can't, go to school full time. A 2-year college is an option for you to work and go to school, and you can come out with a specialized degree. So you can come out being a dental hygienist. I know what is it, STLCC. One of them has an amazing dental hygiene facility. It is outstanding, and it made me want to be a dentist when I took a tour in there. So it's amazing. You can also come out with a nursing degree, and it's easier to transfer to a 4-year. And I say that because say if your goal in life is to attend Mizzou, but in high school you kind of didn't have the GPA or the test scores to get in, you can go to STLCC for 1 or 2 years and then transfer to Mizzou, and it's way easier to get into a 4-year school as a transfer student than fresh out of high school. Because when you choose to transfer, all they look at is your college credits. They don't look at your ACT scores or your high school GPA. So really going a 2-year is the way to save money and stress out less to get into a 4-year school. So that's something also to keep on your mind. And then we have the technical or trade school route, and that usually takes 6 to 2 months. 6 to 2 years. I can't see. Yeah, 6 months to 2 years to complete that degree or certification. You come out with a higher paying salary when you go this route. I know plumbers and I know barbers. I have a friend who's a barber. He's making so much more money than me, and I have 2 degrees. So don't play trade school. Here at Wyman, we do not discourage if you want to go the trade or technical route. There is more money there. There is more edge health there because you're in school less and you're making more money. And you can do specialized trades and specific job training. So when you go to a trade school or technical school, you're literally learning the trade you'll be doing. So you're literally learning how to work on a car, how to get those edges crispy when you're a barber, how to do all the things. Instead of taking, prerequisite classes and things that you would at a traditional 4-year college. And you can come out and you can do certain things like mechanical engineering, aviation, okay? You can learn how to fly a plane or learn all about the ins and outs of aviation and what that looks like. Of course, barbering, cosmetology, if you want to be an esthetician, there are so many routes you can go. And just remember that's a different kind of money. That is a solid kind of money. So don't sleep on technical or trade schools, okay? And then Tiny Toons just mentioned we have a connection with Rankin. So once again, if you choose that option, we have financial assistance available, okay? But we're not done, okay? We also have the military as an option. And as you know, the military has different branches. They have really unique job opportunities. We interviewed a student yesterday with the mock interviews, and she was interested in going to the military because one, the military you do get college paid for, but also she was going to play in the band in the military. I didn't know you could be in the band in the military. Like, they have some pretty unique jobs. They also have some pretty cool IT jobs that you can do. So they have really unique job opportunities you can do while in the military, while away, on guard, on duty, active duty. That you get to travel the world, there's financial security, and there are health benefits and a slew of other pros to the military. So that is also an option you can choose if that works for you. Once again, everybody's journey is different, and that's your business, okay? You can also go the career route where you say, okay, I know what I want to do. I want to start this business. I have this idea. I know I want to do this. I don't really need to go to college for it. I know I can do this. This is the route I want to go, entrepreneurship. Or you can just get a job to work to earn and save money. You can gain work experiences through just going straight into the career field. You can build a network of knowing people, because say if you go to college or going to the military, you're meeting kind of the same kind of people in your age range for the most part. But if you just go straight into the career field, you're making connections with people who may be in different age brackets than you and different walks of life than you, and that builds your network. So you can always say, hey, I know this person that may can help me do this. Let me connect with them here. You gain independence because you are in the adulting world. And welcome to the edge battle, okay? Because adulting tries to take your edges, but we don't let adulting win, okay? And then during that career, if you go the career route by having different experiences, you can decide, okay, is school my next move? Should I go back to school for business? Should I go back to school to be an engineer now that I've kind of done an internship or something here and I've worked here? Should I go back to school? So it helps you figure out if school or if another direction is the option you should take. And then the last option, which people don't talk about, is a gap year. Listen, Going to college straight after high school is a mental decision. It can be a mental ride for some people. I have worked at a college previously before I worked at Wyman, and I have seen a lot of freshman students who come in, they come to college because that's the thing. Everybody says you got to go to college, but if you're not in the mental space to, you know, be on your own and kind of go through what all college brings, you literally can have mental breakdowns. I mean, you literally can, you know, fail some classes because you're not always prepared. And I'm not saying everyone will go through this, but it's a thing that happens and people aren't talking about it a lot, but we're gonna talk about it here at Wyman, okay? I never want to send you all out there to the wolves to fail. And so sometimes people need to take a gap year. And I encourage it because I would hate for you to go, you know, to school or go this one way you aren't ready or you don't fully know yourself and you struggle, versus I would rather you take a year, get your mind right, really figure out what you want to do instead of going to college and majoring in something that you don't want to do, and then you wind up there for 6 years and it just takes you forever to graduate. I would rather you take a gap year, breathe, get a better sense of yourself, travel, work, figure out what you want to do, and then make a proper decision on what you want to do. So a lot of times a gap year is a great choice for some students. And like I said, you can travel, you can decide on the next steps in your journey, what you want to do. You can work and save money because sometimes you may want to go to school, but you literally can't afford to go. You miss the scholarship opportunities that we had and you can't necessarily pay for school. So sometimes taking a gap year to just figure out what I need to do is healthy and it's a good option. So let's not sleep on just taking a break, because sometimes now we can get stressed and lose our edges. And once again, if we don't have edges, what are we doing? So yeah, so those are your options.
Okay, we need the edges. All right, we need them.
Okay, because I don't know what we do if we don't have them. So that's how we explore our post-secondary options, okay? The next portion after we explore the options is to ask for help, okay? Just text us. Tiny Toons mentioned in the beginning, we're here to love you, y'all. Let us love you. Blow up our phones. Like, we have these unlimited minutes and these text messages. Can y'all just call us? We just want to love you. We just want to help y'all, okay? See how that's just one notification? Can y'all blow my phone up? Can y'all blow your coach's phone up? We just want to help y'all. Just text us, okay? Wyman is here to help. Tiny Toons got into it a little bit. Like, we're literally here to help y'all with more than just ACT help or figuring out where you want to go to college. Like, we really are here to offer a lot of things. And actually some students don't know, because I remember some of the seniors didn't know, you know, how we can help. So I'm here to give y'all a short list, okay? And that list is still pretty short. So we offer assistance with making your post-secondary decision. This presentation is an example of that. We can help you walk through things. We may not have all the answers, but we are not above asking other people for help to get you an answer and working with you. We're here to give you life advice, okay? Edges is a part of life. I'm here to help you keep them, okay? Life is a lot. Clearly, the world is on fire with COVID right now. So we're here to help you talk those things out, give you life advice, help you just vent and to see what's going on with your life. Proofreading help with resumes, essays, cover letters, etc. I have a degree in journalism. Snaps is amazing with writing. Royal is amazing with writing. We all have ways we can help you. We all can help you proofread yourself. We don't mind doing that. We love doing that stuff. Let us love you. We do have ACT waivers, okay? If you want to pay for the ACT, that's fine, but you don't have to because Wyman offers that. Okay, financial aid help. Tiny Toons just went through these amazing opportunities we have to help you get your college paid for. If you choose to go to college, right, we have financial aid assistance available so that you don't have to be in complete debt. UMSL, Rankin, SEMO, MSU, what? That's amazing. And then we have this amazing partnership with the Scholarship Foundation, the Centennial Scholarship. Like, y'all have options. Wyman is here to help. We also have FAFSA help. We've all done the FAFSA multiple times and we've looked at it with students, so we can help you with the FAFSA and so much more. Just reach out to us. We want to love you. Can y'all call us, please? Dang. Let us love you. Okay? And so the final portion in this, once we've explored our options and we've asked for help, we make a move. So you see how Buddy in this gift, he looking buck wild, but it all comes together and he looks smooth. You just got to make a move. It might not seem natural. It might feel weird, but it's looking pretty smooth coming down design, okay? So the way we do that is remember that everybody's move will look different. Remember that you're on your own specific life journey. So what I may do to get where I need to go may not be the same thing Snaps does, but that's all right. Because if I'm doing what I'm doing to get where I want to go, it don't matter what nobody on my right or left doing, I'm making my own moves. So the way we do that is, once again, to choose an option. You don't have to dedicate to it and say, this is what I'm going to do with my life. But I just want to explore. So you explore, you ask the questions, you Google that thing, and you YouTube that thing, and then you ask for advice. Then we plan. So once again, we want to plan for multiple options for all scenarios. Listen, right now we're in COVID. They're trying to send y'all back to school physically and virtually. You have options. So even now you can practice making a plan and having multiple options, because that's important. And what multiple options may look like is like, okay, I know I'm interested in auto mechanics, and I really want to figure out, look into what it looks like to become auto mechanic and what it all looks like. I know Wyman has a partnership with Rankin, so I could potentially get a reduced tuition, and I know Wyman knows people at Rankin, so I can probably get in contact with someone, maybe take a tour and learn more things about that. So boom, that's one option I have, looking into Rankin, auto mechanics, bam. But I also know I'm interested in becoming an OBGYN, and I know I'm probably gonna have to go to college for that, but I know Wyman has a lot of connections, or maybe I don't know Wyman has connections, but I can ask them and blow up my coach's phone and her unlimited text messages and minutes and ask them questions. Do you know anyone at Mizzou? Do you know anyone at Webster, at SLU, who can get me, who I can talk to about becoming an OBGYN? I can Google some things about it, and that's the second option. College, OBGYN. Or then there's a third option, have this business idea. I might want to do that where I can make a lot of money. Let me look into what that looks like, the entrepreneurship route. So that's what I mean when I say having multiple options. You don't have to have, you can have a long list or a short list, but the safety lies in options. And in this time of year, in this season of life, it's good to have options, because clearly the world is in a hot pan of fire. And I just want us all to have options, so that if one thing falls through, if you don't want to do the auto mechanics thing at Rankin, boom, maybe the OBGYN route is for you. If that's not, boom, the entrepreneurship route. Just having options leads to less stress, so we can have edges on our hair, okay? And then finally, it's just to apply. When we make a move, we have to actually do something. So we can talk about it, we can plan, but then we have to actually make a move. And that's what Tiny Toons talks about also, is just applying. So apply for the internship that interests you. Apply to take the ACT and the SAT. I don't know how that's gonna work with Corona, but if we were in regular time, let's just assume that's what you can do. Apply for that volunteer opportunity to figure out if you actually are interested in that thing that they do. Apply for the trade program. It doesn't hurt to apply. And if you can apply to a school for free with a free application, why not apply? It's great to have acceptance in your back pocket, because if anything else falls through, that's another option you can utilize. Apply for the scholarship. Apply for, I'm looking at the camera, the scholarships, y'all. The MSU scholarship is a great opportunity. SEMO, UMSL, all these things. And typically what happens at the end of senior year, people decide, okay, I want to go to MSU, but then you didn't apply for the scholarship and you miss out on a chance to not have to pay and lose your edges on figuring how to pay. So apply for these scholarships, y'all. The Centennial Scholarship, please apply for it, y'all. It will be a lifesaver. And then apply for the college if that's what you decide to do. So just make a move, okay? So once again, and then repeat. So it's an option. So like I said, you have options. So just apply the same energy to each option and just keep going. It's a cycle, okay? It's a cycle. You want to make a list. So just continue to do this whole beautiful equation. And then finally, just to recap, we're going to breathe and just know you have things pre-baked into you that are amazing, that was given to you when you were born. You have a purpose on this earth. You're not here for fun. You have something to offer the world. And that's what we're here at Wyman to help bring out of you and help you realize. We're going to explore your options, because you have multiple options that you can choose, not just one. You have multiple, and we're here to help you explore it. Ask for help. Call these phones. Unlimited minutes, unlimited text. Blow it up. I don't pay for this phone. Wyman does. Blow it up, okay? Let us get our money's worth, okay? And then make a move. And then repeat, okay? So I'm going to leave you with the final question. What is the move you're going to make today to explore your post-secondary options? Let's discuss that.
I'm just gonna grab a comment from the chat.
Okay.
Tiny Toon said, most schools are also leaning to test optional, so research those schools as you are applying. So you may not have to take the ACT, they may rely on your GPA alone. And so if you have a really great GPA and extracurricular activities, and you don't take the ACT, you may also benefit right now because a lot of schools are leaning towards that. So thanks, Tiny Toons, for sharing that. Malachi said the move he's going to make today is to apply to more colleges.
Beautiful.
Cameron Harris said, keep my mind and options open.
Yes, Cameron, you got it. Perfect.
Yes, Maria said apply to colleges.
Wonderful. Anyone else want to add to a move you'll make today to explore your post-secondary options?
Do more research on what career I want to go into, which is super important.
Yes.
Do a lot more research, popped up in the chat.
Yes, wonderful. Okay, perfect. Well, that's all we want you all to do. It's just I wanted to let you all know that you have options. If you want to go the college route, make sure you can even YouTube those type of things to make sure that you're majoring in the right thing, because a lot of times you get in college and you may change your major, and that's super normal. But you just definitely want to know what you're getting into. And if you want to go the college route, let's get this school paid for, okay? Let's figure out now what scholarships we can apply for, because I don't want y'all in debt. It's not fun, okay? People really want your money, and I don't like giving people my money. I like to keep my money. So if we go the college route, let's utilize our financial help that we have through Wyman, okay? So that's all I have, and I will stop sharing my screen. And yeah, does anyone have any questions about anything that was discussed today?
When does the MSU scholarship open?
Right, so those scholarships will open towards the fall. So typically that one opens up in October-ish. So I will definitely blow up your phone and let you know. Don't worry, you will know when it opens. You will know. But just in the meantime, prepare. Make sure your ACT scores, if you have them. Make sure your GPA is looking juicy. I'll send the resources list that Tiny Toon shared. I'll email that out. But it opens up about October. About October in the fall.
All right, thanks.
And it'll be on Scholarship Central.
And in the meantime, right now, MSU is doing on-site scholarship, like interviews. So send me your transcript and apply to MSU like today, so you can be in that number.
Okay, I'm working on it. I gotta email my counselor.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, and I'll reiterate what Tiny Toon said. So
I can take an unofficial transcript.
That too. So you can.
I got the unofficial transcript, but my ACT score is not on there, so I'm still talking to her about it.
Okay.
It's okay. If it's not on there, it's not a problem.
Okay, I'll send it to you then.
Well, that's perfect. That's perfect. So I'll reiterate that. So MSU is doing an on-site admissions event with us, and what on-site is you literally give them your scores, your information, your GPA, your test score, your high school grades and things, and you have the opportunity to be accepted to MSU like that. We did it last summer when we were actually on MSU's campus, and it was super great. It was super exciting. We're going to do it virtually. So if you check your email, there's a list of things you need. There you need to send Tiny Toons your unofficial transcript. You need to do this by August 3rd if you're interested in applying to MSU. This is an easy way to get accepted, and then that's one less thing off your list. You have an option and your edges are still intact, okay? So check your emails. That's something that'll be coming up soon. Who else has questions?
I just wanted to add something to what you were saying, Alexandria. So yes, you guys find your unofficial transcript, and don't stress if you can't get your ACT on your transcript. If you remember your ACT login, you can also pull it in from there. And so if you don't have that login, just send in your transcript.
Mm-hmm.
Someone in the chat said, I don't know my GPA. So I don't know what the solution to that would be automatically, other than trying to get in contact with your school, or someone to see if you can get that information if you don't have a login to automatically do your GPA.
Yeah. Is it not available on your school login or anything, Maria? Can you figure that out at least? Can you find it anywhere when you log in and see your grades? Is that possible? If not, you may have to try to, like Snap said, get in contact with like a counselor or someone to figure that out.
Yes, and another note is that while y'all are preparing, if college is on your mind, we had a really cool writing week with writing week with Teresa at the Scholarship Foundation, which we go over essay prompts that you may see on the MSU or CMO scholarship applications that will be happening in the fall. So something we did last summer is we had a whole writing day in which the upperclassmen were able to write those essay prompts. So when the scholarship opened in October, all they had to do was submit it because they had already written it. So if you have free time, you can go back on YouTube and look at those resources and maybe start on your essay prompt so you can have that out the way already.
Wonderful. Do we have any other questions? We definitely want to make sure you all get your questions answered. I know, Lotus, you asked me if Wyman has any connections with accounting. I think that's a great question for Tiny Toons, if we have connections with anyone in accounting. I feel in my shondo that we might, but I'll leave that question for Tiny Toons to answer.
So the short answer around that is we know people who know people. So that's the first thing. Our board is made up of a number of different professionals. So hence, for how we have the ranking scholarship is that we have a board member literally who is over the McCarthy Construction Foundation, right? So I know that we definitely have a connect with accounting. We don't necessarily have an accounting scholarship, but I can get back to you on what opportunities we have specifically with accounting and who we can connect you with.
Perfect. Anyone else have questions or have thought of ways that you want to blow up our phones? Anyone else have questions? If you can't think of it now, you can always text our phone. Unlimited minutes, unlimited text. We got time for you guys.
That we all have, okay? That we all have phones just for you guys. A separate phone. Just for y'all.
Just for you.
Just for y'all. No one else calls us on it but you guys.
Your own line. You got your own line, okay? We're here for you. So I don't think we have any more questions, so we'll leave it here. But I thank you all for joining. I really hope y'all learned some great tips. I will share this presentation with you all if that's something you will like, and I will also send out the resources Tiny Toon shared earlier. And that's all I have for you. So if all hearts and minds are clear, I will see you cool cats and kittens tomorrow. We have a career fair Zoom call. It's going to be really great. We're going to have some really cool people talking about their journeys to their careers. It's going to be amazing. So make sure you're there, okay? I will see you precious kittens tomorrow. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Edges.
Bye more.